Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are talking about the trailer for Emancipation. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
interesting
coming
case,
out,
this one.
I guess.
It is indeed. It is
That's
indeed.
just a thing that's happening now. So this is coming out from Apple. Initially, we heard it was going to be delayed after the infamous slap.
Yeah,
The slap heard around the world,
yeah,
and now it's coming out. It test
it is.
screened and test screened very, very, very well.
Yes,
Antoine
yes.
Fuqua, people are saying it's his best work. People are saying it's Will Smith's, if not one of his best performance. Like, heard nothing but phenomenal things. We heard rumblings that Apple is going to drop one of their big three this Napoleon or Killers of the Flower Moon at the end of the year. It ended up being this. Do we think it could be a thing, and will it be good? I think it looked kind of good, aside from a really weird color grade that I wasn't really here for.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it
I,
looks
I do
good.
think the trailer did present a pretty interesting looking concept, though. It looks like it might be quite basic, I guess, the sort of concept that the Academy will take towards. And yeah, it looked good. I reckon I would probably enjoy it. The thing is, though, and I've said it before, I know you disagree. I think if Will Smith is too front and center, I don't think they will go really properly go for it. And I know you disagree, but that's my philosophy. Will Smith just isn't happening for this film. Whatever happens, there is no way the
Yes,
Academy will go
agreed.
over in
And
that.
it's crazy because
Um,
if the slap didn't happen, I would slide him into my number 5 slot because Best
yeah,
Actor is
hundred
so like
percent,
weird right now. But
100%, yeah.
no,
But
yeah,
the thing is, though, is if it can get enough sort of text, then maybe it can be propelled into the best picture conversation, especially since it's probably going to be Apple's top contender. You know, they do have now things like Causeway and potentially I Want to Dance with Somebody, but like this would take precedence over them. So
yeah,
or you'd imagine at least. So
yep,
it would be interesting. It's interesting, this one. It's an interesting case, especially since it's got like no buzz at all at this point. But we'll see by the
yeah,
time it gets released.
yeah. And like I don't know, I could see this potentially coming up for something like editing, sound, costumes, production design. Like it's gonna really depend on A, how well like it's received critically,
Yeah, yeah.
and B, if awards groups, whether that be critics groups or like televised ceremonies, actually go for it.
Definitely.
And I don't know where we're looking at with either one of those things.
That is a problem. That is a problem. Like it's very hard to gauge understanding at this point of where this sort of film will land up in the Oscars race.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a little skeptical of it. I don't think it will be massively in the conversation because the thing is, like, and I mentioned this to you before, Gordon. Like, there's a lot of stuff in tech categories already. We've got things like Babylon, that'll be a tech sweeper. Things like The Fablemans, we're
Yeah.
talking all of these sorts of things. They'll get tech noms. The problem is, it's the above line stuff. The acting categories are all wild. There's not many contenders. Some of them, there's too many contenders, like actress. Some of them, not enough, like best actor, and then the screenplay categories as well. The problem is a film like Emancipation is not going to be competing for them. It's going to be competing for the above line stuff, below the line stuff. Sorry, that's already quite competitive. So I think,
And
yeah,
if
I think
this
it's going
is
to be hard to
and,
get into the conversation.
and the other thing is this is an original screenplay. If this was adapted, I think it could very easily slide into adapted because of how
Yeah,
messy that
good,
is.
good.
But this is yet another original screenplay to crowd up an already incredibly crowded category. So
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel like that's gonna happen. Will Smith isn't happening. I don't think that there's any like supporting performances in this that like feel like I mean there's Ben Foster, but like I don't it doesn't feel I
yeah,
haven't heard
no,
any buzz. Like
no,
I've
like
heard
none at all.
zero buzz about any of this. So with that in mind, like it isn't gonna get like a director nom.
No, no,
Like
no.
we're literally just looking at below the line, unless Will Smith just I don't know. Like what's the likelihood that Will Smith shows like gets nominated at one of the televised ceremonies?
I think there is a lot more potential that he gets nominated at the at other festivals. One thing that makes me cautious is the fact that the Oscars asked Chris Rock to host them, suggesting they felt what Will Smith did was wrong, therefore
Right.
suggesting to me they're not going to go near Will Smith this year.
Yeah. I could see the Globes going for it.
Yeah, I could see potentially
I
that
could
happening.
also see the BAFTA jury going for it.
Maybe. Although the BAFTAs, it's very hard to predict what they will do. They always go for some
Well, yeah,
random stuff.
BAFTAs are
So
released.
maybe this is the random thing that shows up at BAFTA.
Right, that's what I'm
Maybe,
saying.
yeah.
The BAFTAs are always so weird.
Yeah.
I do think it's possible that, like, they just go for Will Smith and we're like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
you're just the
Yeah.
ones to do it. Like, SAG doesn't really feel like a thing.
No,
Neither does Critics' Choice, but they're a lot more in line, goody two shoes with the Oscars. But the two that always do like the weird stuff, the Globes and the BAFTAs, they
Yeah.
feel like the two that could potentially go for him.
Yeah, and especially since Globes love big names as well. Like
Right.
that would also cause a bit
Draw
of
a lot of attention to them.
controversy. Also, yeah, exactly.
Yep. So I think that there's a chance for those two things, but obviously not.
No, definitely not.
I mean, even if he got enough votes, I could straight up see the Academy just like
Just saying
the
no.
nomination.
Yeah. Well, because he's banned, isn't he? So he wouldn't be able to attend the ceremony.
Yeah.
So what is the point?
And that would just be weird. It wouldn't be a good publicist. Like,
yeah, that'd be so funny if he won. If he won the Oscar, and he's just not there.
He became the first person since Tom Hanks to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And was banned from.
Yeah.
That'd actually be very funny. Yeah, I don't know. This is very weird. I think this is obviously Apple's biggest push because they put Will Smith front and center with Antoine Fuqua at like the big test screening in LA, which people really liked. And like Apple obviously feels comfortable enough to put this front and center as their big awards player this year. And they don't feel like this is going to be a big thing. Variety just did, they interviewed like 20 or something like that Academy voters on whether they would vote for Will Smith. And it was pretty split 50-50 whether people said that they would or not.
Okay.
So like, yeah. Granted, that's just 20 people, but like,
yeah,
it's really, really interesting that Apple they felt comfortable enough to put this out and are comfortable enough with throwing him, front and center. Because I don't know, I don't think it's that big of like whatever. Like if the performance is good enough, that would be like very frustrating.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't care, but like, and Apple seem to feel confident enough. I just don't know if the Academy as an institute within themselves would feel confident enough.
Exactly. Even though that would probably be wrong and immoral of them, I would say. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This is a really, really weird thing because like Apple's been a ride this year because initially it was gonna be Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon and this, and then they dropped those two things. But then
it was like nothing at one point.
I know, and then they picked up Causeway.
Greatest road ever.
Like they may have picked up I Wanna Dance, and then now they're releasing this again. Wild ride with Apple this year.
Yeah.
Wild ride. Yeah. Been a roller coaster following Apple throughout this season. So I don't know. It feels like this is their top priority. That they'll be pushing this, and then probably Lawrence, just an actress for Causeway.
Yeah.
And then Aki, obviously, if they have like some sort of co-distribution deal with that.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. Any final thoughts on the Emancipation trailer?
Well, not on the Emancipation trailer. I will say it's sad. Cha Cha Real Smooth now has zero hope of being pushed. Apple they had a limited stack. There was a chance at one point that they may look towards this film. Now, no, they stacked it. They stacked it.
Indie Spirits, Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
Globe comedy.
It might get those ones. Potentially. Maybe I think that's a stretch.
Maybe Cooper A for comedy actor, or Dakota Johnson being campaigned in lead, so she could happen in comedy actress.
That gives that I feel more confident about that than Cooper A.
I think that could happen. I'm holding out hope for Dakota Johnson to happen at the Globes and for it to get like a bunch of noms at the Indie Spirits and Gotham's. One can hope.
One can hope.
But yeah. No, I mean, in like with the trailer, I feel like we haven't talked about the trailer itself. I mean, it isn't
it's a good trailer. Like
it's a good enough trailer. Like, I'm looking forward to the movie. I don't think it looks like anything, great special. As I said, I do not like that weird, incredibly desaturated color grade. Didn't work for me. Like just shoot it in black and white if you. I don't know. It didn't work for me. But like, I mean, the world building seems very good. Like the production design, or just all of the art directions feels very strong. So I don't know. I'm curious. They're dropping it right at the end of the year. It's getting a theatrical run, I think, on December 2nd. Apple on December 9th. You're gonna have to just keep Apple all throughout the award season to get Causeway.
Well, I can get it in November. I'll time it. So
you'll time it. You get Causeway and this.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a month. Hopefully there's overlap, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think Causeway is the 11th of November and this is December 9th. So if you got it on like the 10th, then it would.
Yeah, get them all.
Yeah. But those are our thoughts on the Emancipation trailer. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Apple's been interesting this year. Apple's been very, very
Indeed.
interesting. Stay tuned for plenty more awards coverage, reviews, predictions, reactions, etc. Until then, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.